Yeah.
I mean, I just think it was just a cool thing that, like, if you really watch, like, we were both off doing our separate stuff, but, like, it had this threaded storyline that was, you know, continuously going. I'd run into in the hallway and things like that, and it's just neat how it was like this ongoing rivalry, and we got to, it was just, you know, perfect how it came about at the end.
Had some time to build,
well,
which is something they don't like to do nowadays.
Yeah, for 7 years, it was like you could pull that card at any time and have us either on the same page or the opposite page or whatever, you know.
I mean, when we had the Jericho and Christian thing, that started with, obviously, I mean, Jericho and I first talked about it, we were like, oh, it'd be so cool if we could do some thing together, some kind of match, you know, and we're like, yeah, and then we talked, you know, Amy and Christian, and we just put this little idea together, and it was supposed to be a one-off, and Vince thought the chemistry was great with everyone, and it just turned into a little bit more than that, and obviously the Jericho Trish story went on after that, and it was kind of cool. Yeah.
When is it, though, like, in getting into the WWE and then, you know, spending your time there, when is it that you actually get to make the suggestions in your storylines?
You got to be good. And they got to be good suggestions.
Is it? But can you obviously you can't do it right away.
Yeah, how long before they listen to you?
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Like, half the time, people, like, you know, I'm thinking I should, you know, I'm going to face Triple H and be the champ. Like, you can't give ideas like that right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to build towards it.
Unless you're his workout buddy.
Or if there was workout buddy,
like
that
Sheamus.
would work as well. Yes. But I mean, you know, they are open-minded and they do listen, and it's just about finding the right place. And I mean, sometimes it really is about the right time. And you know, you can't just think about what you would like to do. You got to think about, let's look at the landscape and see, how do I fit into this? Like, there was a time where I think you were working with Nora at the time. You had come back and you're working with Nora, I think it was, for the championship. Well, I just knew I was not in the title scene, so that's when I pitched the Carlito story with Nitro and Melita. They had just come to Raw. I was like, oh, those two have nothing to do. They're on Raw now. I talked to Carlito, said, how about we do this thing? He was doing the cool thing. So you see the landscape and say, well, I'm not going to fit here, so let me see where else I can fit in. So that's what it comes down to. And they're always open. And if it's a good idea, they're not going to deny a great idea, really. I mean...
And that, too, is like you said, you have to look at the bigger picture. You can't just be like, I feel as though I'm good at this. And
it's like,
you know, and a lot of people, too, I think that's what you do have to identify yourself first, what you are good at, what you would do. But then that's as far as potentially some ideas can go, and then it doesn't mesh with the landscape, with whatever else is going on.
Yeah.
So is there anything there that you pitched that you really wanted to do but just didn't happen?
All the time. I mean,
is there one thing that sticks out that, you know, maybe you didn't actually get to do?
The only time that I was really like bummed that I didn't get to do the thing that I wanted to do was I didn't get my way was Jericho and I wanted to be this babyface couple. That whole storyline was supposed to lead up to Jericho and I being this babyface couple, and like no one had really seen it, but we'd be just this silly campy couple out there, and it just didn't happen. And then of course, but obviously Vince just saw the bigger picture and said, no, I think we should do this, which of course we're like, no, we want to do this. But then it was like, oh wait, actually that's a really good idea. So that's the only time I kind of noticed it.
Nice. What about stuff that you didn't want to do? Like, there's got to be at least one or two parts where you, like, I don't know. I'm guessing.
Look at their faces now.
I know. Well, I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm guessing bark like a dog couldn't have been too much fun.
I had no problem with that.
Yeah.
No, and I've told you this many times. I honestly, it was like I really did see the bigger picture, if you will, of that.
Right.
It was kind of like I knew where it was going. Listen. At this point, I had to trust that Vince was going to lead me in the right way, and this is where I knew eventually it was going to go. And did it not make the WrestleMania moment against Vince that much bigger because people felt it, right? And there was so much sympathy for that character who, you know, didn't deserve it at the time until I did that stuff, right?
Right.
So, I mean, to this day, I think it's great. I had no problem doing it, and it was playing a role. It was absolutely fine, you know. The only thing I think that I really said no, I actually turned down completely was that I don't know if you recall, Stacy and Tori were crawling all over each other, and they were doing something versus, and just seen that many times, but there was a particular
instance of it.
There was a creepy time. Sorry. There was a time with Chuck and what was his name? Chuck and
Billy.
Yeah, they were doing this thing, so they were having a pose down, and so they got all sexy on each other, and they wanted me and Tori to do that, and it wasn't my thing. It just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right, especially because they wanted to end with a kiss between us, and that didn't feel right to me. So that was the only thing I said no.
Right.
And I don't think I got punished or anything. Or did I? Wait a sec. No, wait a sec. I did lose the belt the week after. Yes. Yes, and I was taken off television for. Yeah. Okay, but hey, you know, I didn't have to. Yeah, that's okay.
If you look on the landscape of my career, of course, there were a couple injuries. However, there will be conspicuous times that I think they blanketed over as not so conspicuous. But yeah, I was pulled off quite a few times for not being quite
bad
the performer you were outside of the ring. in the aspect of talking to the office, that sounded potentially.
Yes, that did not sound good. No, it did not sound good. No.
You're like, wow, you're so good at that just the other night. How about you do this angle? No, that's not what I meant. No, you know what I'm saying? Yes. You had the landscape and the timing and trajectory down.
I had the physics of it all
eons.
down.
The amount of space that there is for women in the women's main event. Opposite of that.
Let's go back to the phones now. After that, John?
Let's go to Randy in Tampa on line number 1.
All right. Randy, you're on the air live.
Oh, yeah, macho man, dig it.
Sorry, guys.
It's Macho Man. Wow,
Really,
there
what
you
an
go.
honor.
You
Well,
should dye your hair.
Stevie Ray calls us once in a while. So.
Actually, that's legit. He actually does. Next up.
Let's keep going. Marlon is on line number 9.
Line number 9. Marlon, no impressions, please. You're on with Trish and Amy.
Hey, Trish and Amy.
Hello.
Hello. My question is for Trish, and I think it was backlash.
Mm-hmm.
You separated your shoulder.
Yes.
Who botched that? Because normally when you would do that flip, you would do it in a seated position, especially with Victoria or Lita or Amy. And in that particular match, when Nikki pushed you and you went just solid down on the floor, I was like, oh my God, hurt.
So I think the question is who screwed up the move? I mean,
yeah,
who
what
botched
happened?
The move?
What happened? There?
I can give the fault can go to whoever set up the ring and put the stairs there. That's the only thing that happened. Nothing was like, it wasn't anybody's fault at all, except for that I was taking the spill out and the ring stairs were there where I didn't really realize they were there. And so I instead of falling right on the stairs, I put my arm down on the ring apron to try and turn myself away, but I went over my body and clicked and click, and therefore that's what happened. So it really wasn't anyone's fault.
All right.
But the stairs.
Very good.
Damn stairs. Next up, John.
Let's go to Baroni on line number 2.
Hello, Baroni.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Lita? What's up, Trish? Hey, I just want to know, what's your favorite, road story? You got any cool road stories you can share?
You know, I have to come up with some because I know there's many.
know.
And you get asked that question a lot.
Yeah, people want to always hear the backstage stuff or what fun stuff happens on the road.
I do like that section. Have you seen in the back of the WWE magazine when they're like, you had to be there, and they use action figures to tell those stories that are pretty good, and which always prompts me to go, what's mine? I
should
certainly.
think of one. Yeah, that was kind of, we have a lame answer for that.
Any good? How about ribs? Any good ribs or?
Oh, were you involved in that one with? There was one with Randy Orton. They were bringing in these girls all the time. I don't know what for, but I don't know. She didn't know who Randy was.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Yes, do you remember that?
Yes. Well, that was Joy Giovanni, or I think that was the Joy Girl.
I don't know, but so maybe this isn't a good one, but this is one at least I'm coming up with. Details are sketchy. There was 2 locker rooms, and she had put her stuff in there, and Randy was like, "Screw this girl, she doesn't know, she has no respect, and she doesn't know who I am, and she will after today, and blah blah blah." And he went in there, but it was like this whole bait and switch, go ask her about this, and he had these girls lined up to pull her and talk to her, so he could go in and cut up her clothes and pour baby oil on it.
Oh,
he had to pay for it though, so.
Yeah.